Hello, welcome back to Miss Bell's classroom. Today we are going to continue our space series. We are going to talk about a planet. So does anyone know what planet this is based on the colors, or do you see anything on it that makes you think of a planet that you've seen before? Yes, it is a planet. Do we know which planet it is? So this is Mercury, and it is the planet that is the closest to the sun. Does anyone know anything else about Mercury? Okay, so we don't really know a lot, so that's perfect because we are going to learn about Mercury today. So at the end, we'll take a quiz. So if you want to take out your notebooks and take notes or draw pictures, you can do that now. But I just need you to pay a very close attention to the facts today. So the first fact is Mercury was discovered in 3000 BC. Go ahead and take your notes. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next fact. Mercury formed about 4.5 billion years ago when gravity pulled swirling gas and dust together. And it is the smallest planet in our solar system. It's just a little bigger than Earth's moon, so it's not very big. And it's the closest planet to the sun, but it's actually not the hottest. Does anyone know what planet is hotter than Mercury? Yes. It's not Mars. Yes, it is Venus. Very good. So, since it's the closest planet to the sun, it also has the shortest year. 1 year on Mercury is 88 days. So, if you lived on Mercury, you would be able to have a birthday every 3 months. How fun would that be? Mercury is the smallest planet, and it spins around very slowly compared to the Earth. So 1 day lasts a very, very long time. Give you some time to take some notes. If you have any questions, raise your hand, or if you're confused about something, feel free to raise your hand. Okay, so Mercury takes 59 Earth days to make one full rotation. That's a very, very long time. So that means that a day would actually last 59 days on Earth. So Earth takes 24 hours or 1 day. Mercury is 59 days. So that's spinning very, very slowly compared to Earth. And a day on Mercury is not like a day on Earth. It's very different. So think about every morning the sun rises and every night the sun sets, and that happens every day on Earth. But Mercury is a lot different. It has a very, very slow spin and a very, very short year. And it takes a very long time for the sun to rise and for the sun to set there. And this is very interesting, so make sure you write this down. Mercury only has one sunrise every 180 Earth days, whereas Earth, it has it every single day. So raise your hand if you think that Mercury has a moon. Okay, some of us do. Raise your hand if you think that Mercury has rings around it. Look at the picture, that's kind of a clue. Okay, so it doesn't have a moon and it doesn't have any rings. So it's very small, so it doesn't have a lot of gravitational pull to hold on to a moon or rings. It is a planet that is rocky, and So usually the planets that are closer to the sun are more rocky. Along with Venus, Earth, and Mars, Mercury is one of the rocky planets, and it has a solid surface that is covered with craters. So if we look here, we can see some of the craters on Mercury. So you can see there's lots of them. It has a very, very thin atmosphere, and it doesn't have any moons because it's so small. So standing on Mercury's surface at its closest approach to the sun, the star, our sun, would appear more than 3 times larger than it does on Earth. So that would look very, very big compared to when you see the sun on Earth. So raise your hand if you think there might be life on Mercury. People might live there. There's animals there, plants there. Okay, so some of you do. So let me tell you this fact, and I'll see if it will change your mind. So daytime temperatures on Mercury can reach up to 800 degrees, and they can drop down to negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit at night. So do you think that life would be able to survive in those temperatures? No, probably not. There's not been evidence for life that's found on Mercury, so we can probably assume that there is no life on Mercury. Mercury has been visited by 2 spacecraft, the Mariner 10 and the Messenger. So the Mariner 10 flew by it 3 times in 1974 and 1975. But only 45% of the surface was actually mapped. Messenger was launched by NASA in 2004, and it has been in orbit of Mercury since 2011. Its first flyby in January 2008 showed us some new high-quality images of some of the things that were not seen by the Mariner 10. And since the Messenger has taken over 250,000 photographs covering the entire planet, so that kind of showed us a lot of images of the planet, and we're able to learn more about that. So if you look at Mercury, most of it would appear grayish brown to the human eye. So if you were to see it, it would look grayish brown. So if you look on Mercury, does anyone see any streaks on it? Yeah, so right here, these are called crater rays. If you look, kind of like a sun sprouts out. So they formed, it's thought that they formed when an asteroid or comet strikes the surface, and there's a tremendous amount of energy that is released, and such an impact digs a big hole in the ground, and it also crushes a huge amount of rock under the point of impact. Right, I'll give you some time to take some more notes, process it all in. Some of this crushed material is thrown far from the crater, and then it falls to the surface, forming the rays. Fine particles of crushed rock are more reflective than large pieces, so the rays, they end up looking brighter. Mercury has very large impact basins or craters, so kind of what I showed you earlier, these craters. And there's 2 main ones called Caloris and Rashomon. And I apologize if I pronounce those incorrectly. But they were created by asteroid impacts on the planet's surface early in the solar system's history. And you can see there's a lot of them. So Caloris Basin is one of the largest features on Mercury's surface, and it's about 1,300 kilometers in diameter. And it's thought to be similar to the large basins on the moon. So you can kind of see the similarities between Mercury and the moon with the craters a little bit. So like the lunar basins, it was probably caused by a very large impact early in the history of the solar system. Any questions so far? Okay, good. So while there are large areas of smooth terrain, there are also cliffs, some hundreds of miles long and soaring up to a mile high. They rose as the planet's interior cooled and contracted over the billions of years since Mercury formed. Mercury is in many ways similar to the moon. Its surface is heavily cratered and very, very old. So raise your hand if you've heard of Earth's plate tectonics. Okay, so some of us have. So if you've heard of them, do you think Mercury has plate tectonics? Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have plate tectonics. Mercury is the second densest major body in the solar system, and its interior is dominated by a large iron core whose radius is about 1,800 to 1,900 kilometers. Right, so go ahead and take some notes, and if you have any questions, raise your hand. I can help you with that, or I can even repeat things if you need me to. Give you a few more seconds to take your notes. Okay. So scientists believe at least some of the core of Mercury is molten. And as we talked about earlier, the atmosphere is very thin, and it consists of atoms blasted off of its surface by the solar wind. Because it's so hot, these atoms quickly escape into space. Thus, in contrast, the Earth and Venus, whose atmosphere are stable, Mercury's atmosphere is constantly being replenished. Any questions about that? Okay, so Mercury has a very small magnetic field, and it's only about 1% of the strength of Earth, so it's very, very small, which is probably why it doesn't attract moons and things like that. Another really cool thing about Mercury is you can see Mercury with binoculars or even the unaided eye, but it is always very close to the sun, and it's pretty difficult to see in the twilight sky, but it is possible to see it. Okay, so any questions about the facts so far? Okay, no, so I hope that you took good notes because it is time to take our quiz. Okay, so I'm going to read you the quiz, and then I would like you to write down your answer. It will be 10 questions, so go ahead and write numbers 1 through 10 and make sure your name is on it. And then I will go over the answers. So take out a piece of paper, write 1 through 10 and your name, and you can use your notes. Okay, number 1. When was Mercury first discovered? Write down when it was first discovered. Number 2, which is bigger, Earth's moon or Mercury? Number 3, true or false? Mercury is the hottest planet in our solar system. Is that true or false? Number 4. One day on Mercury lasts about how many days on Earth? Number 5. How many Earth days does it take Mercury to have one sunrise? Number 6. What is the name of Mercury's moon? Number 7. How many times larger does the sun appear if you stand on Mercury? Number 8. What was the name of the first spacecraft to make it to Mercury? Number 9. What is the name of the largest crater on Mercury? And number 10. Can you see Mercury from Earth without a telescope? Okay, does anyone need me to repeat any of the questions before we go over the answers? Okay, looks like we're all ready to go over the answers, so go ahead and take out a pen to grade your quiz, and I will go over the answers. So number 1 was, when was Mercury first discovered? It was discovered in 3000 BC. Number 2, what is bigger, Earth's moon or Mercury? You should have put Mercury. Number 3, true or false, Mercury is the hottest planet in our solar system. You should have said false because Venus is hotter. Number 4, one day on Mercury lasts how many days on Earth? You should have said 59 days. Number 5, how many Earth days does it take Mercury to have one sunrise? You should have put 180 days. Number 6, what is the name of Mercury's moon? This is a trick question. Mercury doesn't have a moon. Number 7, how many times larger does the sun appear if you stand on Mercury? And you should have said it would appear 3 times larger. Number 8, what was the name of the first spacecraft to make it to Mercury? Mariner 10. Number 9, what is the name of the largest crater on Mercury? Caloris. That was number 9. Number 10, can you see Mercury from Earth without a telescope? You should have said yes. You can see it using your eyes, and you don't need a telescope. So go ahead and grade your quizzes. Write how many you got correct at the top. So if you got 6, write 6 out of 10. If you got 7, 7 out of 10, and so on. And then go ahead and pass your quizzes forward so I can look at them tonight. And I hope that you have a restful sleep. And thank you for watching and learning about Mercury today. Good night.